In my experience, yeah, there are some people who are born leaders. I think there are some genetic traits that make some of us more affable, some of us more willing to be outgoing. It is clinically proven that the taller a person is, the more likely they are to be a leader. However, you can learn leadership skills. And frankly, let's just cut to the chase. When we're talking about leadership, we're really talking about emotional intelligence. Study after study after study has come out that has proved that people who lead better are people who master competencies that we would say quantify emotional intelligence. The most important of those is self-awareness. Leadership is developed through reflection, experience, and feedback. And so a person has to have the capacity to think about themselves and be willing to change. A person has to have the capacity to get feedback from other people, in particular, people that they would call or deem subordinates in the organizational structure. And then a person has to have the capacity to be able to try new behaviors. And so if none of those things are going on, the person isn't going to be a leader. One of the most important things is not to be charismatic, but to be your authentic self. And so people respond to people who tell the truth. People respond to people, let me say it this way. I often get veterinarians who come to me and say, Shawn, I want to be more like that person that everybody wants to follow. And my response to that is always, no, just be a better version of yourself, because people will follow that. The beauty about veterinary medicine is we all get to create our own little hypothetical church, and that's our practice. And so people follow a leader who they are inspired by. So if your way is steady and quiet and silent and consistent, but that is authentically you, you will draw people who need and want that. If your way is gregarious and a little spastic and fun and energetic, and that's authentically you, you will draw people who want that. Until you can be exactly who you are, you won't know who to pick around you to shore you up. And this is the mistake that most leaders make. They try to be all things to all people. It is a danger of veterinary medicine because doctors are trained to be the answer to everything, and their big surprise in business is they don't have the answers to everything, and their even bigger surprise with people is they have none of the answers. So experience, reflection, feedback, the ability or desire to be your authentic self, and then finally, the willingness to suffer through the consequences of not knowing yourself. So can you brave the idea of failing as a leader, because almost all of us do and have as we become better leaders. Another common question I get is, what's the difference between a leader and a manager? And there are succinct differences. And the first thing to know is that all people who are owners may not be the best managers or the best leaders, or maybe only good at one of those things. So my message to owners is figure out which one you are. Here's the paradigm. We typically expect the owner to be the leader, and we expect the practice manager to be the manager. Unfortunately, those roles are often reversed because of personality types, and we end up having a lot of conflict because there's not power where power needs to reside. A manager directs, is accountable to, holds people accountable to tasks, takes care of the P&L, takes care of performance, is good at project management, and logic rules their day. They don't care what the goal is, they just work towards a goal, and that's what inspires them. A leader is a much more spiritual position. A leader embodies the culture of the hospital. A leader walks the talk. A leader has 20 ideas to solve big problems. A leader is responsible for big relationships in the hospital and in the community. And when direction is lost, a leader must put the brakes on, gather the troops, and redirect the troops. The leader implements or creates the vision, and the manager executes the day-to-day operations necessary for the vision to be realized.